This is Suna Senman again, and speaking once again on psychology and spirituality. We spoke about object relationships in the last video, and I'm going to continue with that in a exercise. So when we spoke about object relations is that in your mind, your relationships exist. Regardless of what's on the outside. You project it to the outside. I'm going to give another example, and that is of teachers when they speak about a new child that they're going to get into the class. One teacher who had the child may say, oh, this child is just brilliant. They catch on to everything. It'll be so easy for you to teach this child. And the teacher will meet that child as brilliant, easy to learn, and in doing so actually help that child be that. Another child may get a report from a teacher that, oh, they never sit still, they don't pay attention, it's so hard to get them to do anything. Lower your expectations with this child because you won't get much from him. And that's exactly what happens. So it's the internalized attitude towards the person, or the child in this case, that creates the relationship. And this is a very important point to look at as we have expectations of one another. When we categorize one another into genders, well, this is a man, this is a woman, this is a girl, this is a boy, we have different types of expectations from them. There's an experiment that went on where they played a recording of a crying baby, and they would ask people, oh, what does she want? And the replies often were, oh, she's sad. And if they played the same recording to people, and the same people, and said, what does he want? They would say, oh, he's angry. So already from birth, as you are identified in a gender, you have been given these roles or these attributes. And that's this internalized object relationships that we employ. It's very, very rare that we just openly meet people for who they are in the moment. We do change. I brought up that you're not the same person that you were when you were a 5-year-old, or you're the same person, but you can be met in different ways. You have different experiences and different ways of seeing the world, and different capabilities, right? So a lot of the work that I have done as a psychotherapist in my many, many years is to help shake up your own personal identity and object relationships as you have perhaps taken on a certain belief system, a certain mannerism from an interpretation that you made as a child. And if you can visualize this, a child's capacity of understanding certain things is at a certain level that the adult's capacity has gone beyond. So part of the work that I do is go back to situations in your childhood, look at them objectively from an adult's perspective. A child, for example, a child who always felt rejected by her mother because every time her ballet class was over, she had to wait while all the other children were gone. Her mother would come pick her up, and her little brother was in the car. And she would feel like, oh, Mom never really liked me. She only wanted my brother. And then as an adult, she becomes a mother, and she has a son and a daughter, and she's got a daughter who's in a ballet class that is in a school where there are classes afterwards, and there's adults there watching her. And she's got a son who's on the baseball field that once his practice is finished, then everybody leaves. So they both end their practices at 4:30, let's say. She better be there picking up her son at 4:30 and know that her daughter will be safe until 4:45 when she can get to her. But feeling a heart connection to her daughter the entire time and loving them both the same. That adult has a different perspective on the situation than the 5-year-old little girl. So that adult woman may revisit her 5-year-old little girl and have a dialogue to help understand things from a different perspective and realize that, no, there was no preference of her brother over her from her mother. There was just the situation, and the love was there. But the little girl, if she picked up or she took on that attitude that her mother didn't like her mother preferred her brother, then she would have created an internal object relations, a mother within that she acted out in her life without. This is what happens with most of us. So if you are beginning to become brave enough to meet yourself, you may be able to meet some of these object relations within yourself and rethink them. So I'm going to now approach the use of spirituality in working with these object relations. In spirituality, we tend to find beings that are our comfort. Think of any kind of person or being that makes you feel comfortable. It may be a character from a movie. It may be a religious figure, such as Buddha, Jesus. If you have a good picture of God, it could be that. Angels. You could also think of someone such as Martin Luther King Jr. or Gandhi in the wonderful things they did. I have to say I'm unhappy with how sensationalized media wants to dig up anything negative on a person, that they once said something nasty to someone, or they didn't pick up the restaurant bill when they should have, or stupid little things that want to taint the good works of many good people. You may even look at your own life now and see how you have done that with the people around you. If you have put a bitter aspect into a relationship based on some little thing, and which you allow to overshadow all the wonderful things of that relationship. So now let's look at the being that you feel is comfortable, warm, loving, giving, good, embracing. And let me use Yeshua, which is also known as Jesus. But I don't want to use the J-E-S-U-S word because it has also been used as attack many times. But Yeshua, the brother in a family with a mother who had incredible courage, her name is Mary, in a time when society was very strict, would stone her for being pregnant with this wonderful being because she had a question around who the father was. And this wonderful, embracing mother who just had the courage to bring forth this beautiful life. So perhaps we want to focus more on this mother, this Mary, and the kindness and the quietness. Her words are not recorded, but somehow we know her heart. Children have met with her. If you are brave enough to look at YouTube channels, you will see channelings from this Mother Mary, even from Mary Magdalene, who is daughter-in-law to Mother Mary. How the warmth and embracing, accepting, life-giving energy that the hearts of these women have. Try to bring those beings into your world, into your ensemble of characters within your heart, within your mind, as an object relation. And try to allow them to interact with you through your situations of the day. There's a campaign that was going around, what would Jesus do? You can think of what would this Mother Mary do in this situation. You may think of what you would hope your child would do in this situation. Someone you love very deeply. Think of what they would do in the situation and try to step into being that person and doing as they would do. Love is patient, kind, forgiving, open, and free of prejudices. Love is being trusting in yourself and in the world. Trusting in the love energy that penetrates all things. Give yourself a moment to really feel that warm mother's love, divine mother's love energy within you, and to see yourself right now through her eyes as we look upon a beautiful infant and see how innocent they are, no matter if they're spitting up, throwing up, farting, sticking their finger in their nose, the beauty of that little innocent child. See through the mother's eyes upon yourself. Be with that. Remember that perspective during the day as you're doing your things. And feel the mother's love in this day. Enjoy today with blessings.